Ah, the dirty old blog.
How's it going? I guess I'm starting up the dirty old blog again. Uh, this will be the Gangstalker version of it. I recorded it yesterday. Like the dirty old blog. I wanted to do everything off the top of my head and just really just speak from the heart. So I recorded this yesterday, and it was actually spur of the moment. I figured, you know what, I'm going to talk about this stuff a little bit. Um, and so take it for what it's worth. It could either be coming from a madman, or this may be an actual thing. And I'll give you a brief. I won't go into the details of my personal experience, but let me share this with you. Right? So I was speaking with a friend out of state who, and I don't know why I equate this, but he has relations, military relations. I think he grew up on military bases because so he has an understanding of this stuff, and from personal experience, and I won't go into depth because actually I only know what he shared with me, and we'll just keep it at that. The point is, um, I was over the last few years have had a very interesting experience, and it's all I take full responsibility, and I'm sharing this not to induce any kind of sympathy. Actually, no one can really do anything, but I think it's to put light on something that is. Well, let me share this. So I was speaking to my friend about my situation, and he said, "James, have you ever heard of gang stalking?" And I feel like I'm talking like a moderate. Have you ever heard of gang stalking? Uh, so, and I had it. So he says it sounds a lot like it, and he went briefly into it, but he says, "Let me send you some information." And he sent me. I looked up, well, like this. He said, "Research it." I researched it myself, and I said, "Wow, John, it sounds like this is really what's going on." He says, "Well, let me send you some more stuff," and it was a fighting gang stalking link, and it was tactics. Uh, and what it does is, though, it categorizes a the tactics that apparently are being used against people who are targeted. So, and for me, um, it was it was it was actually a comfort because I realized, oh, I'm not crazy. Because they actually they have names because it actually stems from, I mean, who knows how far it goes back, but the Stasi, the Nazis, the secret police used this against citizens, dissenters. And the FBI, well, during the civil rights, and who knows, this is just the information I was reading, uh, that I'm sharing. The FBI, the intelligence agencies, used it during the civil rights, the Vietnam War, against dissenters. And apparently after, and even back then, what it was local police enforcement, military, people who were, um, they would use snitches, informers, and uh, but now here it's become after 2001 and 9/11 and the surveillance state we live in. It seems that, well, maybe it's just because of the information. More people are talking about it because I had never heard of it. And the term is used as COINTELPRO, and it's broken down. Like, one of the terms is gaslighting, and what gaslighting is that people who are involved try to make the person think or look like they're crazy or paranoid, because this is all covert activities. And uh, the term I can't remember the German term offhand, but it means decomposition. And the goal for this is to isolate the person. Look at me. uh, from all his support systems, because the whole thing is to drive the person to insanity or homelessness, or to kill themselves. This is the goals, and they say currently it's a tactic used around the world by corporations uh, who use it for, in that, the corporate world. I mean, you look at the wealth of corporations; they're basically nations, right? And we live in New York City, but also they said um, people do it as a sport. And now with the technology that we have on cell phones and the surveillance system, who knows the networks that are connected and that's what I become aware of. It's so easy. Uh, so, and they said, because someone said, well, James, why you? I said, I don't know. Um, I'm a good guy. But that's like someone saying I'm honest, right? And what is scary is that they went down a list of many different things. I'm going to put a link into this video so you could look at it yourself, because I won't go into details of what my situation, because it's just going to sound crazy. But if you're interested, look at it, the categories yourself, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Um, but one of the things that frightens me. I mean, I this is why I'm speaking like this, because there's not much you can do uh, except not to cower and try to live your life. And they say to be proactive, like speaking about it. So that's what I'm doing. Uh, but what they do is they have a list of things. It's basically to terrorize the person. They call it no-touch torture, is what it's called. And I realized, because when I really got hit hard with it, I was up for like 5 days, 6 days, and I didn't even really, because I won't go into details. But it's constant making someone unease. So anyway, I won't go into details, but you can look at it. But also, they'll start rumors about a person, or they'll go to a neighbor and say, listen, we're investigating this person because blah, 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 blah. And it may not be true, but now not only does that give them access to step on someone's privacy or rights, but now it's part of starting the rumor. And now in the digital age, I mean, they can augment video and audio however they want to make someone look compromised in a compromised situation. So this is the problem. And they said, some people says, sometimes it's just to, like, I don't know how true, like, listen, I have I have no idea if this is all true. What I can tell you is that I've experienced a lot of this stuff that's been categorized, and logically, it seems so. I could be totally off my rocker, maybe a little bit, but after reading that, I know I'm not. And judge for yourself. Uh, what I may be guilty of is stepping outside the box for too long, of conventional ways of thinking and living. I lived like a monk. I went into looking into a lot of Buddhism and addressing attachments, but I do not align myself with any religion. I do not align myself with anything, or any belief system, because personal reasons. Uh, so, uh, I'm going on a bit. So how can I tie this up? So I'm speaking about this just so to be proactive about it, and it gives me a little bit more of an understanding of what's going on. And yeah, I don't want to cower to this. So, but also, why could this stuff happen? Uh, in the categorization, they say, well, sometimes corporations have target. Uh, Someone is a dissenter. I mean, I've spoken out on. Well, I live in Staten Island, and I've talked about constitutional principles and how I feel like this police state, surveillance state, is really stepping on inalienable rights. I guess maybe this is it, and I'll just state this, and it's very controversial, I imagine. I guess after 9/11, even as I say it, I lower my voice. I know a lot of people who were firefighters who were there. I mean, I'm from New York City, so it's a very sensitive subject. But it's we have taken a lot of actions afterwards that deserve responsibility to question. And this is and this is where what rose the question for me, right? And I'll make it this simple. We had an attack. Many people died, but it was an attack on the physical safety of individuals. Our country was established, well, our forefathers declared their independence from the British monarchy. They didn't say we are giving you rights. They said no. Human beings are endowed by inalienable rights by the Creator. And why? From my understanding, is because the monarchy had said they ruled by divine right, which meant that the story was that God endowed them to rule over everyone else on earth because of their bloodline. So, inalienable rights endowed by the Creator says no. All human beings, just by breathing life, endowed by life, are equal, and no one can rule over us. So, that is what makes the United States of America the United States of America, the Constitution. We have boundaries of the 50 states, and of course. But, so this is the point. The terrorists could have bombed 5 states on that day, and they could have never conquered the United States of America, because the United States of America lies in the Constitution, in the Declaration that we are free people, inalienable rights endowed by our Creator. And we go through, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and yeah, this is very brief. So, why then, after the attacks, would the people who supposedly serve, because, the government and people who serve in the government or serve, take an oath to protect the people of the United States of America and the Constitution. That's the physical safety of the people, but more importantly, the Constitution, and which just means, no, we are going to protect the inalienable rights of each human being. So, I have a friend stop and land on me. Hey, buddy, some horny toad kind of thing. Uh, so, it distracted me a little bit. So now, with the Patriot Act and all the surveillance state, the people who were serving the people and the Constitution, began to take away the rights of American people. So they did what the people who attacked us could never do. So that is why I question everything that has happened after 9/11. And it makes 9/11 suspect. And I know this is very, probably standing in the dark here. This is very, this is very unsettling with people, because you know what? Who wants to think that people may have or people, it's just, we're very comfortable. People work so hard in our lives to be in the system we live in, that, they don't want to change. They don't even want to think. It's like, no, 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 I don't want to know, I don't want to know, I want to know. So they can't even question. And that's the problem. So anyway, so I have been talking about this stuff a little bit for years, and I've done some small work, and nothing that I would, believe me, this is not an ego trip. I'm like, what the fuck would they want to be bothered with me for? But also, another reason says, it could be just that, they have such a big budget, they could be justifying their budget. Or you have local, it's just the local, they say the people who become part of this gangstalking thing are, because it's illegal. The Stasi maid did it in Germany. Look, my buddy's still here. My buddy's still here. Hey, on my sweaty shirt. Maybe it's a robot. It's an intelligence robot. I'm joking. That would be maybe a little crazy. Oh, it could be. Are you intelligence? Are you Big Brother? Horny toad flying thing. Anyway, so, so what they said was the people who participate in this are local police enforcement, retired police enforcement. Because really what it is you have a 24/7 surveillance on the street, which people say, oh, it's good. But you, when it's like anything else, without checks and balances, so it's like retired police officers, civil servants, military, and so they get in a part-time paycheck. They're not thinking about it. They have a guy who's retired, buddy from the police force says, hey, listen, you want a gig? I got this part-time job. Well, all you got to do is it's like a security gig, but it's surveilling their fellow citizens. Uh, so, but none of this has any checks and balances, and this is the problem. Because I don't know if you're aware of it. I came late because I don't watch TV, but I saw a on New York One with Errol Morris. There was an interview with a couple of police officers, and they were talking about the surveillance technology, and that they said that NYPD has its own intelligence department, which is unconstitutional. And it blew my mind. I mean, I probably should have known this, but they also said that they have technology where they can look through your walls and spy on you from outside your home. Sharing with you about. So anyway, the bug the bug flew away. Sorry, buddy. See you later. I don't know if he was getting a little. He was hanging out here, the horny toad beetle, whatever. But anyway. Uh, so let me wrap this up. I got distracted with the bug again. So yeah, it's this is it's unconstitutional. And what happens is like if you have a bunch of guys who are from the police, and this is what Staten Island too. You drive around Staten Island, you see these black and white American flags with blue stripes going through them. It's very eerie. Someone says, well, it's just the police making a statement. But why would you augment the flag of the United States of America? So, whatever it is, even if we have an intelligence department, we have a secret police. There's no conspiracy about it. There's no, this is not some kind of tinfoil hat story. I mean, we have an intelligence department in the NYPD that doesn't have checks and balances. Who do they answer to? And so what are the odds that some people start using it for their own personal gain? Social, maybe, it's like, oh, they're the social police. We have people who are so are indoctrinated. They go into school, they go into the military, they go into the civil service, which is nothing wrong with that, but they're very regimented in an authoritarian structure. And they think everybody should live that way. It's very uniform life. But that's not what the United States of America is. They want to standardize the whole country in that way. And then with the corporate structure, which is another compartmentalized structure, I mean, it's just the way it works. So, yeah. so that. Sorry. So that's the way. So let me go say hello. Okay, yeah. So just to finish it up, that was the woman who works here. She never. Actually, I was gonna say hello to her, but so anyway, so uh, for whatever reason, I've fallen into this kind of web, uh, and so I'll navigate it, and I'm just gonna speak about it. Uh, so, and I guess it's to I guess the people who know me know who I am, and I'll just the truth is the truth. So regardless of how it plays out, just try to Shine a light on it. With I guess the person who started this the tactic thing had experience of this, and he said, "Well, shine a light on the roaches, because it is that's the thing. All this stuff is done covertly, because it's Intel, Intel, Intel Co Pro, Intel Coin Pro, something like that. I'm gonna put the links in, and so yeah, I guess that's it. I got a little distracted. I meant the woman Jennifer. I shouldn't even say it. So anyway, so yeah, so the dirty old blog. So I haven't I had started the website gingy.org, but there was I ran into, and I may have been part of this thing. This has been going on for far longer than I understood, and I was having conflicts with the name, which I picked the name Gingy. I figured it'd be able to have an image or a marker for all my work, and the whole goal was to put. Now I'm going on to a different topic, so but what the hell? Uh, it's all related because how am I going to put this information out? Um, to put place, so I picked a name where I could use paint an image in the digital world. I like the idea of painting a marker and placing principles before personality. So it's just a marker. So it's not about me. It's not my ego. It's not James Ford. This is my work, which it is, but to let the work speak for itself, hopefully, and stand on its own. And that's one of the reasons I did that, to try to put a space in between myself and the work. And hopefully let truth, to be a servant of truth is what it comes down to. Could have just said that from the beginning. And and let me say, I am a total fallible person. I'm a screw up. The only reason I've kind of had to look into my own kind of stuff is through default failure, and then having to really go deep into myself just to live a healthy life, really. Because at a total default, I started delving into my own truth, and that made me. Then once I felt was at a place in myself, I started extending that to my relationship with the world around me, and then I started being aware of other things that I wasn't aware of before, and it became a little more challenging to engage with the world because my habits of engagement were from a different place, and I was a different person. Not bad or good, just it's just different. You change, and sometimes it's drastic, and you have to relearn certain skills. So that's what I'm in the process of doing that, and this, woohoo, I probably and not the best time to do it because the world has changed, and people who I think are outside the box uh, are not have probably never been welcomed, but there's more technology for people who want to maintain control of the status quo to do it. So I think that's where it is. I'll leave it at that. When I was in the space, there was the rope was a hangman's hoop. I said, oh, are they giving me a sign? So you do start getting a little bit paranoid. But that's the nature of it when things are going wrong, when other people are messing with you a bit. But anyway, that's the negative part. This is the positive part. And so whoever's watching this, thank you for taking the time to go through this. And if you take the time to look at the links, I appreciate it. And yeah, so talk to you soon. Bye.